Got a problem, Paul?
What do you mean?
I have 251 friends who wanted to gather on Teams for Thanksgiving. The free version won't.
251?
Yep. Specifically 251.
That's a curiously specific number.
It's exactly how many friends I have who want to get a call on Friday, Black Friday. And I'm just definitely not making that up. But yeah, Teams free. They're shoving that turkey right out of the...
Is this not possible in Skype?
Yeah, but nobody likes to talk about Skype. Like,
but I mean, like, really? It's like, install Teams, access the one feature we've added to it for personal use.
From the desktop now. From the desktop.
Well, that's what I meant. Yeah. And, free calls. Neat.
Yeah.
Unlimited calls.
Somehow it integrates with your SMS too.
Yeah. If you invite someone to a meeting or whatever it's called, a chat, and they don't have Teams, they can engage with the chat via SMS. It's actually pretty smart.
Yeah, I was going to say that actually, that is quite smart. And that's a good feature. So, I mean, whatever, it's a good thing, I guess, right? They're making it free. They're taking on the Zoomers who are, only get like an hour or whatever, 40 minutes or something like that.
Jerks.
Which, let's be honest here, though, like being limited to a 40-minute video call sounds more like a feature than a downside. Like,
right. Can we make it more like 35 minutes?
Yeah. Like that's
bring this thing home in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, I don't want to see family for longer than that. Like,
I don't want to see anyone for longer than that.
Yeah.
It's like when the doorbell rings and it's your neighbor and you're like, what?
It's like your house is on fire. Oh, thank you for
that. Are you busy? No, I just don't want to talk to you. What do you want? Like, I don't know.
COVID has taught me I don't need any of you people. I can survive
right.
in my house on my own without any of you. Oh, man. So I solved, and by solved, I mean heard from various folks about why you can't stream from your console to your PC. Because it's
on Xbox Series X.
Yeah, on the new stuff.
You can on Xbox One. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can if you're a Microsoft employee currently. So it's going to be coming. You cannot do it right now, at least not easily. And so it's a feature that's been available internally on beta testing rings for a while now, and I would expect that it would come to whatever. Now, the other
didn't make sense to me.
Yeah. The other sort of hiccup here is that it's somewhat tied into actually xCloud on the PC, and that honestly might be the reason why it's held up. I'm not entirely sure yet, but it's like the same experience. So
they're in the middle of transitioning between desktop clients, right? So there's an Xbox console companion app, and then I think just the Xbox app. So when you go to the console companion app, it says, hey, get ready for the new experience because it's all going to Xbox soon. And when you run the Xbox app, there's nothing there. It's just a front end for Game Pass, basically. So it's a little premature to have that kind of a message, but I bet it's tied to, tied into all this is this new client, that will do both.
It's coming. I don't personally ever use that feature. I'm sure there are people that do, and they have very valid use cases for it.
Yeah, well, that's why this came up.
Yeah,
someone asked me about it, and they do use it on the Xbox One. Or did use it, and I think it was a Surface Pro, but they were surprised when this feature wasn't available. And I checked, in my own console, and I was like, how is this not?
Yeah.
The interface is there on the console, and that stuff's on by default, or at least I enabled it somehow. But when you run it from I keep forgetting the names of these things, the Xbox with a console companion app, it sees the Xbox, and then when you try to do the remote thing, it's like it says it's not enabled on the console, which it is.
There's also another patch coming. Might be one of the first post patches, maybe. I don't know. There was another sort of weird issue with, and this was discovered by some people who do like HD. They review TVs, and they were using the new Xbox and the Series. I'm assuming the S. No, the S doesn't have a disk drive. Doesn't matter. Only the X. Okay. When using a Blu-ray, like for the people who actually buy discs still, like it couldn't put out like true black. Like that color just didn't exist. Just wouldn't work. Wow.
So what does it put in its place?
Well, I mean, it's like a dark gray, but it's not.
It's a very dark gray.
A very dark gray, but not a true black. So
So it's like a pound sign 111111 or so, or a 00001
Yeah,
or
something
whatever.
like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. So, yeah, 2% black. I don't know what is. I don't even know what that means.
2% black.
Greg Badwolf just said 2% black.
I don't know. Seems like he'd want to be black or not black when it comes to the color, like. Anyway, okay, this is something I'm not going to do. So
if that's what's been holding you back from buying a Series X because you couldn't buy one anyways,
look, I'm holding out for the final 2%. I don't understand, or I guess whatever
it is. I don't know how colors work. I just know that my eyeballs function most of the time.
You can tell Microsoft didn't give a crap about this feature because it's literally the same exact drive that was in the Xbox One, and it's literally the exact same software if you want to run, play Blu-ray movies.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they had the data too on how many people actually used it. And they were like, should we put some effort into this? And I said, no, we're going to put all our effort into revamping the dashboard. And we saw that.
We got to add it. People have games on disc. We get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's that. So,
all right. Good talk.
Good talk. Week. I mean, I assume you're going to go get in line now for all your Black Friday deals next week. And that's just going to be, what is in my eyeball? Thank you, Siri. Did you hear that?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you please repeat it?
I said, I'm not going to say that on a live podcast.
Don't be mean to Siri. She's, simple and doesn't understand criticism.
She does understand swearing, though.
That's true. She gets a little offended.
Well, a little bit. This Siri gets abused a lot because a lot of times, sometimes when you say Xbox Series S, nope.
I say the word seriously a lot. Guess what that triggers? Siri, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that to be an actual confusing question. It triggers the Google Assistant, Brad.
Yep. Didn't you just write about your 4A 5G followed next year by the 4A 5B? The 4A 5C
names. I know.
Are you back to that? What is your daily phone now?
Well, I just got it. So right now it's this. I have to say, for all my complaining about the Google strategy this year and mid-range phones and plastic and blah, 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 I really like this phone a lot. Like, I really like it. It just has this really clean experience. It's got kind of a minimalist vibe to it. The camera's great, obviously. I think I need to get past the point where I even pretend that I use a phone all the time. I mean, I use a phone for months at a time, and then something else happens, and we'll see. But I would be happy with this. I can also use it without a case. I just experimented with that this morning. It's a little slippery.
So dangerous. You are.
No, it's polycarbonate.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no, I mean, who cares? I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a good phone. It's a stupid name. I don't quite understand, the positioning of these products this year. The three phones they released are all, they're not like steps up to each other. They're a confusing matrix of features. It's not technically an XL because they don't really have one, but it is the XL for this year, and it is almost exactly the same size as the Pixel 4a XL it's the Pixel 4 XL from last year as far as the display size goes. You put them side by side, they're almost identical. It's good. It's a good phone.
Is the camera all right?
Yeah, the camera's good. Doesn't have a telephoto lens, so it's kind of like the iPhone 12 where it has two lenses. So it's a normal lens and a wide angle, ultra wide. The ultra wide isn't quite as wide as other ultra wides.
So it's like a super wide, just not an ultra.
It's a sort of wide, a little wider.
Whitish.
Using Google language, Google would call it like sort of ultra wide.
I was gonna say kind of wide.
Yeah, kind of wide. But it's still, it's the right lens. I mean, if you have to have two, I'd like to have three, but whatever. If you have to have two, those are the two you want to have. The pictures are really consistent. Remember, I talked about the OnePlus 8T and how terrible that experience was with the camera, because a lot of the pictures were great, but a lot of them were like, "What the hell is this?" Like they weren't just bad; they were unusable. Like they were blurry, and you'd look at a picture of like a person at a table and stuff going on, and it was focused on something in the background somehow. Really bad. Like this doesn't do that. The pictures from this are consistently good. And I'm starting to appreciate that kind of thing, even though you could say it's a little boring or whatever, but it's a tool. You know,
One might even say it just works.
yeah.
That hurts to say that. It doesn't.
Well, it does though. That's a good way to put it. I mean, it does the job. You know, will I be using this 3 years from now? No.
Let's be honest. Will you be using it 3 months from now? Well, when is the?
Probably not.
Probably not.
You know, well, we'll see. Well, we'll see what happens.
Trying to think about what comes out in 3 months. We got rough. Maybe.
Well, the S21.
That's what I was trying to think. I was trying to do the math on that.
Well, it's January actually. They're going to release that one earlier than usual.
Are they?
And it might even replace the Note.
Wow.
Like they're going to be a version, at least one version with an S Pen.
Wow. So I wonder who's going to be more mad. People who bought the Note and then that thing comes out, or literally anybody who bought a Mac Pro.
What? Sorry. What?
The people who bought the Mac Pros that are like 30 grand.
Oh, I'm sorry. Right. I'm like, are you just seeing if I'm paying attention? What are you talking about? Oh no, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
You bought a 30 grand Mac Pro, and then now all of a sudden Apple's like, hey, remember all those Intel chips we said were really good? Turns out,
I think Samsung's changing the way they do things, and this past year was weird for them too, because remember, they went from the S20 to the Note 20. Mm-hmm. Then they had another S20, the FE, which cheaper, all the good stuff from the normal 20s. Like, what's going on here? So maybe that's their approach for next year. Is they'll do the high-end flagship stuff right up front, very close to the release of the chipset, right? So they'll be the first to use whatever the Snapdragon 8. What are we on now? 65 or something? 75, whatever the next one's called. Mm-hmm. And then later in the year, they can just do like an FE version or something that's cheaper.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The only thing, I just hope they don't lose the S Pen, like garage, like stylus thingy. That's kind of the.
Yeah.
I don't know what else. Let's see. We don't even. What are we doing next week?
Oh God, right. Well, so it's a holiday for those.
Right.
For those of you confused by this question, it's Thanksgiving next week if you don't live in the United States.
It's on Thursday, right?
Yeah. So I would say we're definitely not going to be around Thursday, obviously, and Friday.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, no dice.
And then it would be a question if we do it. I mean, I'm going to be doing Windows Weekly on Wednesday, so I'll be working. So I don't care if you want to do it Wednesday. That's fine.
That sounds about right.
Thanksgiving Eve, as we call it, as nobody calls it.
I mean, the only one who cares about Thanksgiving Eve is probably the turkey. I mean, that's
right. Well,
right.
The turkeys, it's not like the stay of execution occurs on that day. If you're going to eat the thing on Thanksgiving, it's been dead for a while. Like it's
yeah, that is true.
It's already sitting there frozen in a giant ball.
Unless you like go out, to the backyard and
surprise.
You got anything going on this weekend?
Yeah, my kids are coming home.
Oh,
so yeah, Kelly's going to fly, which is incredible.
Oh, so you did convince her to.
Yeah, not to belabor the point, but 10-hour drive, obviously. So if we were, I don't want to drive and then drive back and then drive her back again or whatever. So, that's terrible. There's a train she can take, but it's literally 12 hours. And it takes her to Philadelphia, which is an hour and 20 minutes from here. So even after 12 hours in the train, she would have to get in a car. And obviously we'd pick her up and drive another hour plus to get home. So the flight is I think it's an hour and a half at most. It goes right to Allentown, which is right next to where we live. This is the dream. When we moved here, I was thinking I'd be flying out of Allentown, and it's like a 20-minute drive from the house. It'd be amazing. Can you imagine that? And I have not done it once. I don't know if I'm sure I'll fly again, but I don't know. Anyway, she's going to do it. So that's good. And then Mark's driving. I think he's coming home Sunday.
How long of a drive is that?
3.5, maybe 4 hours.
No, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad.
Yeah, that's
it's actually a better drive than it was when we lived in Boston like that. I don't remember. I think it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was much longer from Boston.
Boston. Hear your accent. It's I think I'm going to be taking apart my dishwasher this weekend. That's going to be fun.
Is it not working properly?
It's leaking from the front. So
yeah.
There's either a seal or something. I did some quick
This is something she did herself. She fixed our dishwasher.
Who did? Your wife did?
What?
Well, maybe she should come fix mine.
How long is that drive?
That's
Yeah.
a probably about 12-hour drive. I mean, you're like as far over in Pennsylvania as you can get, pretty close.
Yep. Yep. And Pennsylvania's a big state, which I know just because we drove to Pittsburgh, and it's like seriously. Yeah.
And then where I'm in Ohio,
How far,
it's
how far are you from Pittsburgh?
I
would
want
you
to say
say?
like 5-6 hours.
Yeah. So it's at least 5 hours to Pittsburgh, and then
Yeah,
so
because
it's
I mean
at
I'm on
least
the
10 hours.
opposite side of Ohio, so
Yeah.
you'd have to drive all the way
You want to
across.
get as far from the stink as you can. I understand.
Anyways, the stink is actually partially in my kit. No, so it's leaking from like the bottom of the door, and
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a seal or if I can just like put some silicone there to keep. And it's not like it's flooding, so I know it's not coming from like the water valve. Like it's only leaks when the dishwasher runs, so it's very clearly leaking from somewhere like inside the thing. So you can pop the like cover off, and then I want to run it again and see if I can see where it's coming out. And
Well, that's fun.
yeah, sort of. Not as fun as the new Black Ops. Have you come around to it yet?
Yeah. As well. So I did play 3 games today, 3 multiplayer games. Why am I having a hard time remembering what the level was?
It's the old age.
Yep, dementia's setting in. Anyway, so the first 2 games, I had the highest score in the game, or at least on my team.
Yeah.
Maybe highest in the game on one, highest on my team in the other. Positive KD, obviously, and I played. One of them was the boat, the big ship thing. I think this game is going to have to like force me to change the way I play, because it actually benefits someone who is more like, you kind of stay back and you almost camp basically. And instead of running into something, you just stay back and you wait. And the little guy's head will poke out of a window or something. And I did really well in those first 2 games. And then the third one started, and I was actually going to leave, but then it was that level I really like. It's the winter one with the kind of fort. I don't remember the names of these things. And I thought, okay, I'll do this one too. I have, it shows you your score over time at the up on the corner. And my KD ratio on that level was 0.9, to give you an idea of how bad I'm doing in this game. Meaning I've been killed more than I've killed others. And dude, this is one of the worst games I've ever played in my life. Off the top of my head, I want to say I went 3-17 maybe.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Man, the other team's loving you.
Yep. And I told you a story, I think last week, where I actually wrote someone and said, stop playing this game. Yeah, someone needed to write me that letter today, because what the hell was that? So I don't know. I'm going to keep trying. Just before this thing started, I had 15 minutes to kill. So I'm like, I'll play a match of this thing, I turned it on. It's a 15 gigabyte update downloading.
Oh, yeah. They like changed the MP5 or whatever. It's not even called. See, this is the thing that annoys me. That game makes $1 billion when it launches, and they don't even license like the actual gun name. It's called like the XM4 instead of an M4A1, and then I don't even know what the MP5 is.
Yeah.
They're just
So
generic.
they're uploading the guns.
I don't
15
know.
gigabytes.
Well, they're nerfing the MP5 or whatever it's equivalent called, because it was ridiculous.
I just want more levels now
Yeah.
at this point,
Just anything. I think that's supposed to happen in December.
Yeah, but you know what? It's probably not going to happen for us. It will probably happen in December for PlayStation people, and then we'll get it in January. Because I know Nuketown is coming, the classic.
Oh yeah, the Nuketown. That's an all-time favorite.
And it's supposed to look like the original Nuketown. It's like Nuketown, I think they're calling it Nuketown 85 or something. Something like that.
Should have
So if
just
you
called
go
it
back,
Nuketown HDR is what we need.
HDR, yeah. Well, there's been some stupid Nuketowns. Like Black Ops 3 had like the futuristic one. It was like from the future, silly looking. The one I have played the most now, is the one that's in Black Ops 4. And actually, that version's fantastic. Like, it's a really good. It's like a Russian Nuketown in the winter kind of thing. It's nice.
You're kind of nice.
Thanks, buddy.
And that is what I'm thankful for. Maybe.
Wow.
Nope.